I think it's been easier to focus on myself, but I wonder about them. Like, do they still do it? Did they go to rehab? Did they successfully complete it? And it's nice to be able to finally save for things that I want. It just on the flip side, it feels bad when I spend that money on the things that I want, which I guess has just been ingrained because I've been wanting to help other people for so long that if I do something for myself, I feel guilty about it. I still deal with that fairly regularly. Like, I don't deserve this. I should be giving this to someone else who does, type mentality. I'll get over it eventually.
To me sometimes is like, I could help someone without hurting myself, but am I supposed to? Like, that's where I get stuck. You know, am I supposed to like did earn this, right? Like it wasn't like I hit the lottery or something. I worked really hard for decades. Now I don't know, a friend once called me a self-made man who enjoys his toys, and somehow that burned into my head. And I'm like, that's okay, right? Right?
Of course it is. Yeah.
But this person over here, you know, she can't make her car payment. Am I supposed to pay for her car for her? Right? She's been my wife's friend for 2 months. How am I like, what's my level of commitment to this person? Zero.
2 month friend?
Literally.
A 2 month friend?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Fuck you.
You don't even have to buy them dinner. Like, 2 month
friends? 2 month friends get dinner. 2 month friends get dinner. They don't get car payments. They don't get car payments.
And then there's this, sorry, I'm making this about me, but like this, I try not to buy people things because if I have a friend, it should be because they enjoy my company, not because they're able to get things from me. And even if it starts as enjoying my company, if they start getting things from me, then it becomes that, like it or not. It can't be like, yeah, Josh was really cool, but you know, he also like pays for my car. You can't unring that bell, you know, like that just keeps, that's a thing that's out there. And so it's almost like you can't help, or it ruins the relationship as much as if you do help. And it's tricky to navigate.
I think, I don't know how, it's like one of the hardest moments was when they were asking me for money for food. And I said, okay, how about I just take you food shopping? And they instantly turned me down. And then, you know, that's red flags.
Right.
When that happens, you know, they want money for a thing, but you're like, let's just cut the middleman. I'll just go get you the thing. Or I have a job interview. I need some interview clothes. Okay, I'll take you shopping. Well, I don't need to go anymore. You know, stuff like that would happen a lot. So what I found, I guess what I do now is I'll just buy another one if I buy something that I like. And then that way I can share it with someone else if I want, but it's still mine. So like,
you're such a genuinely nice guy.
Goodness. You need a peer. You need a peer. Like my dad had this great thing with his brother growing up where like they had, they both made a lot of money as, you know, as business partners. And so like my dad would buy a Corvette. His brother would buy a Corvette. My dad would buy this high-end Remington sniper rifle. His brother would buy one too. There were matching versions of everything, you know, growing up. And it was just like, you need a peer. You need a peer. And it's hard sometimes if you're doing okay and, you know, maybe your peers aren't doing okay to like find that peer. I've dealt with that myself, like where like a lot of my friends weren't doing so well financially and I was. And it was just like, I mean, maybe I'll just buy two so that we can all have one, right? Like you know, like I've had to do that before. But it's like having a peer, like a financial peer, you know, sometimes when it comes to this sort of thing is a big deal. Like I think Woody has found that with his paramotoring and his motorcycling, right? Like he doesn't just like find some poor guy who's a good friend and be like, hey, let's get you an R6. Then you can ride with me. You know, he's like, oh, so you've got an R6. You can ride with me. like, you know, you kind of got to do things that way at some point. Like you can't always be the breadwinner for the whole fucking group.
Yeah. And not only can you run out of money, but you don't even know if your friendships are real.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the Bam Margera thing from like Jackass in like the early 2000s, where he was like buying all his friends Lambos. None of them had jobs. And in return, he'd be like, hey, I need you to suck my balls for MTV. And they're like, I guess so. It's not real friendship. It's a little exploitative. It's all, yeah, it's a little, yeah, transactional. That's the best word for it.
Sometimes I think about like, I want people to experience what it's like to not have to think about if they have to pick between the light bill or food for a month. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of the people I grew up with, or like my family, they always kind of just paycheck to paycheck. And for me, I'm not like a millionaire or anything, but for me to be able to have extra money, I just want to show people like, when you don't have money, money is everything. But when you do, it's not. And you can only experience that once it's happened to you. Mm-hmm. Like people that don't have money that see people that do, they're like, you could do all this and this, and why aren't you happy and all that? And it becomes more about like, who do you want to be as a person? What do you want to do? What do you actually enjoy besides just coming home playing video games? Like, who do you want to be as a person? And so what I try to do is allow people to have that experience, so that like if you had everything you wanted within reason, now what would you do? And I don't know. I try to, because some people look at me and they're like, what's it like to go shopping for food and not have to look at the tag on the can of corn or whatever? I'm just like, it's good, but there are other things that fill in that worry that I think about. And you can't understand that when you're worried about what the price is. But I wish you could understand what it's like to have money, but also, I don't know. I feel like I'm ranting. Thank you for coming to TED Talk.
No money, no problems.
I was older than you, but for me, it wasn't the can of corn. It was a menu. Until I was like 30 something, I read menus from right to left. Right, so it would be like $9.99, $8.99, $12.99, $6.99. That looks good. Oh, grilled cheese.
Oh, Alpo. Yeah.
That's how I read menus. And then at some point, it just got to be like, reading them from left to right is quite nice. Like, they have sirloin here? Well, that's the best thing on this menu. I want that.